Hello, hello, hello.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Erik Hodson, aka the Dreaded Dinosaur, and I am joined by my buddy Michael Oden, creator of Elysian Fields, and we are here to talk to you about Webtoon. That's right, a brand new show here on Indie Vault where we're talking about strictly comics that you can read on your phone, tablet, or a PC if you'd like, completely free via the Webtoon app. And today we're going to be talking about the comic Outrage, which both of us really enjoyed. And we have, a few problematic comments probably here and there, but overall a great series. We're going to be bringing that up. But first, Michael, introduce yourself. Say hi.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Michael Oden. I'm the creator writer of Elysian Fields and founder of Nine Realms Publishing. Elysian Fields is also on Webtoon. This is one of the big things of why Erik and I ended up linking up, because he's got Dreaded Dinosaur. I've got Elysian Fields up there. Figured, we both pretty into this whole Webtoon thing. We figured we'd come together and give some reviews and let you guys know which Webtoons that you guys should check out.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's start the show.
All right.
Where's my... Oh, there it is. All right, that was our intro, and hope you enjoyed that. So, anyways, for those of you who might be tuning in, Webtoon, you may not be familiar with it, is a web comic hosting company. It runs through an app on your phone or your tablet, or you can view it in the browser at webtoon.com. In the description down below, I've got links to both of our comics on there, Dreaded Dinosaur Man for me, Elysian Fields for Michael. And it's an interesting experience. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I think, at least in my opinion, it's the way to view and read comics on mobile devices on the go. It's a really good experience. We're already familiar with it. You're just vertical scrolling like you do your news feed on Facebook or MySpace or whatever. and yeah, so that's what first attracted me to the platform. And I must say, after a couple of years of developing my comic on there, I really enjoy the entire experience of doing it. I enjoy the vertical format. I think it's a great way for doing some storytelling. It allows you to play with cinematic elements of time, where you have people kind of scroll through, and there's some really great things that the comic we're going to be talking about a little bit later on does with it. But Michael, what do you think about Webtoon? What brought you into it?
Webtoon was actually an app that my ex got me into. She was into a whole bunch of different series like Lore Olympus and everything like that, and got me hooked on that and a few different series on there. And I think that Erik kind of hit the nail on the head with a lot of those points. It's easy. It's you've got your mobile device, you can just scroll through. I think the other big thing that I like about it a lot is the potential for mixed media in a way that's very different, because you have a lot of these Webtoons will even incorporate audio tracks and instrumentals to go with and enhance the experience while you're reading. I think that's it's really cool. And the series that we're talking about today that hasn't done that. But like, it's something that, as we go through and we take a look at these other stories, it's something that you'll see every now and again. And it really does make a difference. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think those advanced features, they're still working the bugs out on them. I remember when I first joined, there was a couple of comics that had some limited animation. It was all kind of it was GIF, supported GIF animation, but those are on the sponsored ones. So and we'll get into a little bit of what the Webtoon app is like in the process. But the main reason that we wanted to start this show is I was looking around for what to read. And especially in Webtoon Canvas, where we publish and where the comic we're talking about today is, is published at. There's basically two sides to Webtoon. There's the premiere, which is the ones where Webtoon is paying the artists a salary to create their stories. And then there's Webtoon Canvas, which is accessible to everybody to post their stories. And the problem is that there are thousands upon thousands of stories on Webtoon, and just combing through them is kind of grueling at times because there's just so much there. So how do you know what's good? And Michael and I are both avid readers on the app. We're both creators on the app, and it just seemed like a no-brainer that we're spending a lot more time on the app than maybe the casual reader might. And so maybe we can help answer those questions, because we've certainly got some of our favorite strips, and we want to open up the show for future episodes to bring in independent creators who are publishing on the platform to tell us about their comic, pitch it to us, in other words, convince us to start reading it, convince you to start reading it, and really just kind of shine the spotlight on some of the better ones that are in there that might be getting lost in the crowd. Did I err in any way in explaining the show, Michael?
No, you're good, man. I think that did it. We just need to get that written down so we can say it to everyone.
Yeah. No doubt. Okay, so we're trying out with this format is I'm actually going to be using my phone to broadcast the Webtoon app, and we're going to have it here on the screen here in just a minute as soon as it starts going. We're using Elganto's Screen Link technology, who are not sponsors of the show, although we're open to sponsorship. And it's going to give us the opportunity to actually look at the Webtoon together and talk about it. So let me bring it in and put it in the middle here. And I think this is kind of slick. You're seeing, here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and launch the app.
Look at you with your phone. And
I just wanted something that always worked. So,
hey man, my last iPhone literally blew up like right after I got done with the phone call. It was great, but it imploded.
Okay, so when you get the app launched, this is actually automatically going into the last comic I was reading. So this is the app proper, and you can see series if you have an account up here, my series. So I've got Rosebuds, here's Elysian Fields, Safi the One-Eyed Cat, Room of Swords, that's a pretty good one. We'll cover in an upcoming episode. Rosebuds, I just connected with her on Facebook a few weeks ago, so hopefully we can have her on the show. We have Outrage, and then there's Dreaded Dinosaur. And one of the very first ones I read was Space Boy, and that's one of the originals they're now called. That's one of the premiere ones there on the end. So that's where you get to store the ones that you're kind of subscribed to. And then there's some recommendations based on what you've been reading. Advertisements for other Webtoon originals. And as you scroll down, you're going to come down, completed series, blah, 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 top series, and staff picks. And it's pretty good. If you look at the bottom of the app, which you can't really see because I've got the branding up here, that's the home screen. If we go over to Canvas, it's basically a complete another part of the app where this is all the stuff on Webtoon Canvas, where Oden and I are both publishing right now. And there is a lot there. You can see Weekly Hot, the fresh picks, and they'll all have this little green thing, this little green circle here that says up on them once in a while. And that means a new episode has been posted. And one of the challenges in all of these genres here is that, because I'm trying to do Dinosaur Man week to week, and with the Christmas season, it's been kind of hard for me to do week to week, but that's my goal. And I want to stay up as long as possible. So depending on the category that you're in, I'm in sci-fi, for example. The moment some other people post new on sci-fi in the same day as me, I start to tick down in the category. So you can see here, switching over to the sci-fi. Again, we have a little bit of a delay, so bear with us. So there's the sci-fi. So you can see these are all up. These are all new today within the last 24 hours. So the longer you can stay on here, the better. And that's why I've heard some people say you can switch your genres out every once in a while. Maybe pick a new genre depending on the theme of your current issue. to try to get as much exposure as possible. But honestly, there's like so many tricks. There's tricks like that. But it'd be great if there was a show where you could just say, "Hey, what's cool?" and find out from watching maybe a YouTube show. And that's what we're trying to do here. So the comic we are talking about today, and I'm going to go back to the front page just so it makes it easier for me to find. Is called Outrage.
Yeah.
And this was one that I found because there's not a lot of stuff in the superhero genre. And this one really stuck out to me because of the art. The art in this is incredible. It's done by Fabian Nezka. And I apologize if I'm butchering your last name. It's always tripped me up. But it's currently at like 32 chapters. And the summary is, a virus is attacking people who abuse others on the internet. Comedic ass kickings are occurring across the country by a sentient electronic entity that appears through the personal devices of bullies and babies alike. Who or what is outraged? And again, it's by the creator is Fabian Nezka. Again, I apologize because I'm sure I'm butchering your name. And he, co-creator.
I'm good at that. I am not sure how to pronounce that either. I'm usually pretty good at that.
Anyway, I've seen Fabian around this con circuit and whatnot. Co-creator of Deadpool. He's written so many numerous comics. X-Men, X-Force, New Warriors. He's a pro of pros. Thunderbolts, Batman and Robin, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Hot Wheels comics, apparently. He's worked with multiple franchises. He knows what he's doing. This is original IP for him. And then we've got Riley Brown, fan favorite superhero artist known for work in Deadpool and Spider-Man. And he comes to this as well. So that's the official summary. So let's take a look at chapter 1. Now, what was your first impression when you started reading this, Michael?
So
it's a little bit of a loaded question here. So
this is what I will say. So the first bit of this episode got me. Like, I was really, I loved it. It's a fantastic confrontation. I thought it was hilarious. And then it got a bit rough. And Erik's giggling because I remember reading through this, and there came a point where I was just like, oh my god, it's gonna be one of these. This is a very political comic. However, to its credit, it uses politics in a way where it should. Any element that you have in a comic should serve the purpose of the narrative and not the other way around. And that's what we have here in Outrage. It's definitely a bit rough. In my opinion, it's a bit rough the first few chapters, but by chapter 4, it really starts to show that it's a commentary on, not like, as much as it's a commentary on, like, these people definitely have their own political leanings. It's a commentary on everyone being shitty.
Yeah.
And it does this very cleverly there. And you might, whatever your political leanings are, you might not agree with everything that's being said, but it's done so in a way where the narrative creates a conversation where I feel that if you read it, you might be able to come with some middle ground with somebody that might be on the other end of the spectrum than you, politically speaking. And I think in that this comic does a great job. I mean, Erik's already hit the nail on the head as far as its art's concerned. Like, the art is gorgeous. I actually didn't read up on the behind the scenes on who the creators were. That completely makes sense, because like the first thing I said about this book was like, this is literally just Deadpool. Like, so if you really like Deadpool and you're looking for a good Deadpool book, don't really look at Marvel because they don't have anything. be reading Outrage.
So yeah, here on the screen, this is the first introduction of the character. We've got a keyboard pervert here who is stalking some people, and he's going through and like doing his nasty typing and whatnot, and suddenly his screen changes, and there's the face of Outrage. And I love the aesthetic of Outrage. All of his text being with this red balloon with the white text, it really kind of sets it apart. And so he's able to come through the digital devices, so mobile devices, and all this other stuff. And again, this is not a kid's book. There is some serious adults topics here. And this show is on Indie Volt Live. We are TV MLA. I don't have the thing up because I didn't put it up, but again, we are this is not a exclusively safe for work style broadcast, and neither is the content here. But I mean, as you can see, it's like this digital anti-hero is just reaching through the computer and slaps the crap out of this guy.
And that's the other thing that I love about it, because they totally could have had him go like full on Skynet and start like just killing the bad people. But instead, he just comes through the screen and just bitch slaps people.
I know.
And that's literally the extent of what he does. He just slaps people around. He doesn't even really like beat them up hard or anything. It's literally just like watching a parent like.
Yeah, it's what should have been done to these people as kids. Get their ass spanked for being a jackwagon as kids. So they don't grow up to be like this pervert here on the computer.
Oh man, I think that's one of the like most genius things about it, because it's not even like he is going around and beating people up. He's literally just like giving them spankings or slapping them across the face.
Yep. Yeah, and it's kind of a neat scene here coming up where he's using the desk to kind of leverage himself to pull himself through the screen.
Yeah, like as I said, this opening bit I love. Like this part I read and I was hooked. When we get to the part where I was,
my balls are on my chin.
As I said, this is totally written. I guarantee you, Fabian's the person that made Deadpool funny.
Yeah, because, absolutely.
Like it has to be, because Rob Liefeld's original Deadpool was not Deadpool as people know him.
I feel, since I'm giving birth to myself through your desktop, that we're close now.
Oh man.
And of course the monitor falls on the, we're going to see the monitor fall on the floor.
I know that you shared that line from the feeling the close now, but I loved the, oh man, what you were saying was some next level Cyrano level shit. And I was just like,
yeah.
Oh man. This guy reacting like pretty much anyone would, seeing that. Just that face.
So we've got Rebel Gaming chiming in. What a Webtoon? And you're seeing one right now. Webtoon. The origin of Webtoon is it's a Korean. It's basically the English translation of the Korean word for a comic is what ends up with a Webtoon. And so this line Webtoon started out in Korea, and it's gone global. They're really trying to push hard here in the States, and so we're getting excellent content like this from former Marvel DC creators, and it's it's in this format where we're scrolling vertically, and just a lot of good stuff here. So then we finally get to the reveal of the character. Let's see. What does he say? Number one, the bullet. Kendall in a bikini, dreamy. Daryl Dixon on a motorcycle, creamy. That would be the part where you cry while I kick your ass. And then there's the debut, the full on of the character. So this is the first time we see Outrage.
I really like his design, man. it can't be said enough. The art in this book is top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just absolutely gorgeous work. And so then there's roll credits. Created by Fabian and Riley, inked by Jay Leistein, color by Matt Herms, lettering by Pat Brosso, edited by Tom Ankle. So, and this is a full team. So this is a professional, well-made, awesome comic out there. We can't recommend it enough. Give it to at least episode 4. Because it's, once you start getting into it, you're going to see the politics of it. Some of you might be like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. And some of you might be going, this is a little on the cringe side. But as we said, it's very even-handed in its criticism of the subject matter it's dealing with, which is basically people being asshats on social media, and it's even-handed on both sides, gets into some really deep stuff with lots of humor. And, it's just, I love how he ends it here with his character with a little bit of a, tell us how great you are, how great we are, email us, follow us on Twitter. And this is a really good presentation as well for the comic. It's really taking advantage of the format to really do a good job of selling itself.
100%. And I will say, like, as somebody that the first few chapters were not my cup of tea. Once we got to chapter 4, it really does pick up. And I will say this: the second season of storyline completely blows the first out of the water, in my opinion. Anyway, like it gets really good, and with everything that's been going on with this year, like it is probably one of the there are creators out here right now that in the indie side that have tried to do commentary like this, and nowhere near this level of good.
Yeah, exactly. Because for too often you get tempted to be more heavy-handed on one side of it, on your bias. I think it's great that the creators here are able to balance the bias enough to make it palatable for anybody can pick this up, and they're going to get something out of it. And
yeah,
I think that's great.
And this is a perfect example of that. Actually, is you start. This is the 4th episode, right?
Yep, this is chapter 4.
So you get this opening thing, and you see the three news anchors from the 3 major broadcast networks of American news: CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, and each of them sound like fucking idiots.
Yeah. They are, but that's great for them to point out.
That's the whole thing. I think that was really the first moment where I was like, okay, like I remember, because I was messaging Erik about it. I was like, why am I putting myself through this? And then I got to, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a fair shake. And man, it turned out great. They did a phenomenal job. Definitely a few moments here or there with a little bit of cringe, but otherwise, like it is a very well put together webtoon. I can't endorse it enough. I've actually sent it around to a few friends of mine at this point. It's like, you guys need to read this. This is like the webtoon of 2020.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of get a kick out of the running gag with this character here. That, she's constantly being accused of hacking, looking at porn, because she's getting all these viruses, and it's the outrage virus on her phone.
It's an awesome little running gag, because the only people that are turning those phones in are people that were caught watching porn and got slapped around by outrage.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't do it.
There's lots of other characters involved in this series. You get these detectives. I'm pretty sure this is the FBI, and that are following the case, trying to figure out who Outrage is. And Outrage isn't a physical person; it's like a digital manifestation. So the story is really good and kind of like leading you into, eventually you get to the aha moment and figure out how Outrage came to be, who he is. And the characters surrounding the creation of this character. And it really I don't know. It took me by surprise in a good way. It's like I didn't see it coming.
And you want to know what else and I hadn't even thought about talking about this until just scrolling through this is we're scrolling through this and we're seeing a very diverse cast of characters here from all spectrums, and none of them are treated superior to one another based
Right.
off of their diversity. Like this chick here, I'm fairly certain that she's if I recall correctly, she's lesbian, isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's not into dudes. No.
Like it comes up I think once. She makes a like she kind of like I think she cat calls a girl or something like that at one point. Like she comments on a girl being attractive, and that's all we get about it because it's not important to her character. The thing that's important about her character is that she's a cybersecurity specialist for the FBI,
Yeah,
and
and
so that
she's a hard ass, good at her job,
yeah.
and that's what she's concerned with is people knowing that she's good at her job.
Yeah, and I like I cannot praise the characterizations in this enough. Like you really get the sense of these are people. It's not just these are representations of identities that we're pushing. Again, it's not heavy-handed in its politics. It's pretty even. This part's funny.
I'm trying to find the one. There was like one really cool panel. Oh yeah, eventually you get to the major villain of the story, which is just kind of like a yang to his ying, where another cybersecurity company creates their own version to go after him.
I
So
think the panel you're looking for is in chapter 10.
is it chapter 10?
I think so. It's either in 10 or 11.
I don't want to give too much away here. We're trying not to have spoilers and stuff. Yeah, Outrage left a digital dump in the Oval Office, and so that's of
It,
course it's a crap icon. That's hilarious.
it was so awesome that he just leaves a poop emoji.
Uh,
Oh god,
it was
it's great.
11.
Oh, I might have been wrong. Yeah, sorry. No, it had to have happened before this because they don't know that this happens after because the guy that gets tossed out the window is yeah.
It's a very dialogue heavy
There we go.
comic, and but it's not boring dialogue. The story moves along at a really good pace. It's definitely it's something you can definitely pick up and read a couple episodes while you're working or taking a break or something.
If you work at a job like me where you do literally nothing all day, you can binge it in like a day.
Okay, here, this is the one I was looking for. So it's chapter 9. And the thing about Webtoon is with this vertical format, and you've seen some small examples of it. With My Dreaded Dinosaur Man, I try to always take advantage of the fact that people are scrolling through this at a certain rate. I kind of judge it by how people would scroll through maybe their Facebook feed. You're not necessarily going to go blow through it like I was because I'm looking for a certain part. But you got this, the attack on him. And for being a digital presence, he's taking bullets pretty well. And you got the fire team coming in and shooting up the place. Serious humble brag here. But it looks like I can't be killed.
How are you guys missing? Oh wait, you're not.
Okay, so and so I'm pretty sure this is the scene here. So he throws a guy through the window, and we're just kind of following down with the It's a very long drawing and very it just this is an engrossing experience. I don't know if you feel this way or not, but I feel that this is a very engrossing experience when an artist takes advantage of the panel this way to really just flow us and just bring us through the action.
You know what it kind of makes me feel like is like this would be like the equivalent of effectively like a 2-page spread.
Hmm.
Like you're obviously not going to be able to do a 2-page spread really on something like this, which has been one of the difficulties converting Elysian Fields over to this platform, because it's not formatted to be like this. It's formatted to
Hmm.
be a book. But like this is the kind of thing that you'd want in like a 2-page spread or a splash page, you know, is something to hook the audience, and it does a very good job at it. It's really good.
Yeah, they bring in this nice long black pause. This is a break for us. We had this high fall, and now we're seeing the conclusion of it. But we got this nice black screen fading into it to kind of get us prepared, and then builds up the drama to boom. Here's the ending of it, where he obviously doesn't let the guy die because he's not a bad guy. He's an anti-hero, but he's not killing people. He's just beating the ones up that need a good smack.
God, that's such a great dynamic shot too. Just
Oh yeah, absolutely. This whole sequence here is full of some really great dynamic artwork and good posing, and this like the energy here is just like it's just a really good reading experience. All right. Well, I don't want to show the entire comic. We want you to read it. We want you to download the Webtoons app on your phone.
that's
And
another thing that they did that was really fun is they actually have people using like their native languages, and then they'll have Google
oh
Translate,
yeah, yeah.
which I thought was really fun.
Yeah, there's lots of little touches like that really kind of help it along. It's not there's another great this is another great shot that I scrolled to here where he's running. It's just really good posing, really good use of the panel. All right. So that is Outrage. And again, it's gosh, they're up to 32 chapters. And
35.
35. Well, yeah, if you get the fast pass. So I guess Webtoon has started this new thing where you collect these silly coins, where you can buy coins, so you get early access to new episodes. What's that?
Eric. Don't mock my lifestyle, Eric. They're not that expensive. I stock up. I gotta have my fix.
If you got to read it now, I just hope that one day both you and I can get a little bit of that squeeze from that stuff too.
Right.
So this has been liked by 213,000 people, 9.4 rating. It totally deserves it. Check out Outrage on Webtoon through the app. Now, we're going to be closing out the show, but I want to take a minute to each tell you about our projects. So let's take a look at Elysian Fields. Michael, give us a synopsis of what you got going on here, and if you got tell us what's your future with Webtoon with the project.
So effectively what we're doing right now is we're using Webtoon as kind of a method of cross promotion to expand our audience. We have Elysian Fields is up right now with our second campaign on Indiegogo, and we have a campaign also going on Kickstarter for the same book. And so the idea is to try and reach a broader audience and potentially bring people in to get on those. However, Nine Realms, my publishing company, we are looking at going in and expanding and actually having series that are more catered towards the Webtoon experience, because I think that a quality book on a quality story on Webtoon, once it gets noticed, it can go a lot of places. And there's that whole aspect of you can't really beat the price of free. And
Right,
even if
exactly.
even if they're only following an episode at a time, that's a that's an extra person that could potentially see your book in a store or see your campaign online and be like, you know what? Yeah, I can spare like $20 to purchase like the trade of this. Um, Cameron Christopher Payne says 9 realms. Oh man, we got to talk. I mean, hey, hit me up. But anyways, so that's kind of the plan right now. We've been releasing the 0 issue up on Webtoon. On Thursdays, we release it in increments of 3 pages. As I said, earlier, this book was formatted for a print format, so it's not it doesn't flow as well as, say, Dreaded Dinosaur does, or Outrage, which is looked at. It's more in that page format, but either way, it gives you a chance to read in on the book, get yourself familiar with everything, so that way, if you wanted to go jump in on Pyramid Gambit, you wouldn't necessarily have to wait. And so this is an example of what we got going on right here. As I said, definitely more for that page format, because it's broken down into the panels and everything, rather than it being effectively feeling like one continuous panel that you scroll through, which is what you really want to be aiming for with that Webtoon model. So that's what we have going with Elysian Fields, where, as I said, we update Thursdays at 7 p.m. So love to have you guys take a look. And yeah.
Awesome. Looks great. Yeah, and for what you're doing here, it's not a terrible experience on Webtoon. You can still read it clear. I can still read it pretty clearly here on my phone. Larger tablets, you're not going to notice anything. It's going to be a good experience on a larger tablet. So definitely check out Elysian Fields and my co-host's comic there. And what would I be doing without talking about my own book, Dreaded Dinosaur Man? Pardon me. So Dreaded Dinosaur Man, we've had a couple thousand eyeballs. We have 105 subscribers, 9.4 solid rating. We're very thankful for that. Thank you very much. And Dreaded Dinosaur Man, and we have 7 chapters. I'm trying to update this every week. Holidays are a little bit of a pinch right now, but definitely have plenty of material to go. So, and the basic story premise is this character, the Dinosaur Man, he doesn't really know who he is. He woke up, he's got this curse. He doesn't know why his face is the head of a dinosaur, basically. He has these experiences of rage where the animal in him comes out that he's very embarrassed and ashamed of. And so he's trying to set back a past that we're not told about yet, that he's ashamed of, right, by becoming a hero. And this is kind of his first real adventure in trying to be a hero, rescuing a damsel in distress. And what I try to do with my characters is I try to make sure there's no throwaway characters. And so, like, these characters here that are bringing this slave girl to market or whatever, they're not insignificant. Something happens to one of them, and another one you're going to find out later on what happens to them. So I'm trying to weave as many as the complex storyline throughout the Webtoon as a jumping on point. This is a good place to familiarize yourself with a character, because I am planning a published book to be on Indiegogo, hopefully by March of next year. And so the Webtoon is going to lead you into that story. There's an example where I tried to use using the format. He gets hit by the car.
God, that panel is so cool.
We fade to black, and then we get like the resolution of what happened with everyone just kind of laid out in an accident here.
I'm surprised you didn't pull up the Boudica shot.
Oh, we're not done yet. I'll go through a couple other things.
Bootylicious Boudica. Very
You like her because you named her, which was very very helpful.
Hey man, I wasn't gonna go there. I was just bringing it up.
There's a variety cast of characters. There's a few different. There's like 3 main storylines on the Webtoon. One of which is the Outlaw. He comes up in the third or fourth chapter. So there's more going on in the city. The planet Tanalorn has various city states. So it's kind of like a a middle ancient times where we mostly like Athens was a city state. It was its own economy, its own thing. It wasn't part of like a larger country. There was no central government or anything like that. So that's kind of what's going on here. There's lots of little city states, and Samora is the biggest of those. And so he's kind of like this rebel freedom fighter type character. There's lots of hints and drops to the culture that raised me in the 80s. This bike here is kind of stylized off Psykill from the GoBots. That's one of those things that, you might not recognize at first, but since I've mentioned it, people are, oh crap, what do it's there. It's pretty obvious. And this little panel here with the blast shot is one of my favorites that I drew for this particular strip. Just it's odd what you like the most. It's like the action here just kind of worked. I hit that sweet spot, so I was pretty happy with that. And then, of course, as Oden here was talking about, we have Boudica. So the city of Samora is ruled by a queen. She's kind of a figurehead type character. There's a political element to this as well, some underhandedness going on between the leaders of the city and the people of the city, and there's like some side dealings going on here. But Boudica's got her own thing going, and she's not really interested in what the city people have to say. She's got her own agenda. And one of the things that I did with this one is I wanted to do kind of a wink to Jack Kirby. So I have this panel here where she's getting ready to go into the elevator down into her little chamber there. And so we have all of this kind of like a Kirby style tech where I want to do a nice long shot. And again, sorry for the delay. There's nothing that can be helped with that. I'm streaming the comic from my phone into StreamYard. So this is some pretty interesting tech here. So yeah, she's talking to another character going down the elevator shaft with all this cool stuff on the sides here. This is one of those panels where I had the image in my mind for like a year and I couldn't wait to draw it.
It looks really cool, and you totally hit that Kirby aesthetic too. Totally looks like something from like a New Gods book.
And here's the end panel where we meet one of the main villains of the story. We're just going to see a little glimpse of him on the screen here. Smite, he's a leader of the Mavian race, which they're this purple-skinned bunch that are kind of fascistic and have really big plans and really big goals. And so they've got Boudica and Tanalorn in their sights and kind of roped her in on it. So that's what's going on here. And now with the last episode, we learn more about the slave girl, Telexis, and her mission and what she has to do. And so there's a lot going on. I try to have fun with my characters. Again, they're no throwaway characters, and they're just, there's lots of little subplots and stuff that I really want to get into. But I try not to water it down with minutia. We're getting to a big action scene, and I can't wait to draw that.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I've been following Dreaded since I think he'd taken a pause after his third episode to work on some stuff, and I read the first 3 and I was like, I need more. And I've been hounding on him ever since. I've been one of the motivators.
Yep. Yeah, it's been very, very helpful, and I can't wait to get to the story to a point where I can actually, because the book that I got planned coming up, I've got the story already written for that. But it's just like, I kind of get antsy because I want to shove this story along to get to that point, but I also don't want to rush it. So there's lots of little things that I'm just inside. I'm just giddy. I can't wait to get to drawing and get to telling the story. All right. So that's going to wrap things up. That's all I've got. If you got any more comments there, Michael?
Let's take a look and see who we've got in the chat. Say hello to them.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We got Grant chiming in here. Thank you. I appreciate the art. Looks cool. Cameron dug Dreaded D, and of course he he seems to be a big fan of yours, Elysian Fields, which is awesome.
Yeah, I see that, man. And then we had, Joe D. McPhee and Trico watching here earlier, congratulating us on our first episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yep. Hopefully not too rough of a start, but I like this format. I like having the webtoon here in the middle and being able to talk about the strip and what's going on with it. So that seems like a cool idea.
Absolutely, and we will let you guys know what the next. We're going to be doing these every Monday, and so we'll let you guys know what the next strip that we're going to be taking a look at is. Probably when do you want to do that? Do we want to do that on the day before, kind of announce it?
Yeah, if you follow us on our Twitter account, what's the @ there for the Twitter?
So the @ for the Twitter, let me pull it up real quickly, and we'll is @came from Webtoon. Here I'll share screen it so that people can see it. Erik did all this great design work for us, and that came up with an awesome logo and did that great intro video. So we don't have a lot of followers just yet, but we're working on it.
Yep. So please follow us on Came from Webtoon @Came from Webtoon, and we'll be making announcements of what the next one. And please message us there on Twitter. Send us a DM if you're a creator and you would like to have us feature your webtoon. Send us a DM. We'll take a look at it, and maybe we can have you on the show to talk about your comic that you're putting out on the platform, and tell everybody out there on YouTube and Facebook land across the fruited plain of the Indie Volt network, and get some more readers, get some more eyeballs on your comic.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for myself and for my buddy Michael here. Been a great time bringing you this first episode. Please check out Outrage on the Webtoon app, and we'll see you back here again next Monday at 9 p.m. for It Came from Webtoon.